Namaste. Namaste. Namastizzle. Peace and blessings. Greetings. What's up? Magick La Croix here. Hopefully you are having a great start to your week. And the last week of Halloween. Totally sad that this is coming to an end, as I am every year. My favorite season, AMC and Freeform. If y'all have those channels in your area, have been showing out. I've seen Trick or Treat maybe 3 times, at least 3 times. Exorcist, I've seen all the classics. But we got one more week exactly for spooky season. Hopefully y'all been getting your rituals in, manifesting. You know, we had an eclipse. The veil is thin, you know. So hopefully you've taken advantage. I always try to tell people, take advantage of October. Please take advantage. Halloween is the major holiday of witches. Okay? It's that for a reason, right? It's not just dressing up and going around asking for candy. It's much more than that, okay? If you are on my Patreon, I put the Book of Halloween in there for your use. Grab that, download it. Before I go any further, don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe. Just like last year, also in October, Texas decides on the last week to go ahead and get gloomy and the temperatures drop. So after the brutal summer we had, that was a welcome relief. All right, so let's see who's in the chat. Namaste, Katrina. What's going on? What's up, Sharon? Love, peace, and power, Brother Konami. Yeah, let's start there. Katrina's always, like I said, always sending me some good information, some good reels that I like to share. Wait a minute, I don't remember seeing this one. Okay. Oh man, I do not remember seeing this one. That looks like LeBron James and the Jericho. Wow. Okay. And y'all gonna compare him to the GOAT Michael Jordan? I don't think so. Nope, not even. Oh man. Wow. So let me show y'all what I'm looking at. Katrina came through again. Wow. It's my first time seeing it. It is. So yeah. Humiliation ritual, y'all. This is a perfect example of a humiliation ritual. Yeah, perfect example of a humiliation ritual. If you don't know what that is by now, please educate yourself. All right, so when somebody asked me recently why I hate all celebrities, that's the reason why. Because they are there for a purpose. They're there for a reason. They're not just there because of their talent. They are there to serve the elite's agendas. Period. Point blank. That's the post. Wow. Man, what's going on, Brother Moore? You'll have questions later? Okay, that's what's up. That is what's up. I wanted to also get started with an old clip of me and Ashira. We were talking about hoodoo here.
Because she stopped going to church. She's like tried every other religion that there was out there besides like besides Eastern religion, but you know, the ones in America. And so she was like confused. She took all the pictures of Jesus down out the house.
Wow.
And But years later, like she got another one. I'm like, okay, so maybe she, I don't know. But
It's funny that we have that in common, I swear, because I used to wake up early before school to go to the early morning mass. I was an altar boy.
uh-huh.
I wanted to be a priest. I was all into the
I wanted to be a nun. Isn't that crazy?
Oh,
The
wow.
only reason why I wanted to be a nun was because the nuns at my church were pretty and they were so nice and they always gave me candy. I had no idea what they had signed up for.
The nuns that I knew was old, wrinkled Caucasian women. So
I went to a black Catholic church where a bunch of people from Louisiana went. They were all from like Creole and stuff like that. So like everybody in our church was mostly Creole or black. So it was like the nuns were also Creole or black. And so they were just, they looked like me. And I was like, I want to be like you, I like black. I knew I loved the all black outfit. So I still wear black, but for a different reason.
So that's an early clip of me and Shara. In that portion of that video, we're talking about our upbringing. As you heard me say, and I'm sure I've said it here, I was an altar boy. I got up in the early morning, go to church before school. Who does that? You know what I mean? Wanted to be a priest, a bishop, a cardinal. I wanted to join the ranks. I had that programming early where I thought that doing that will find favor with God when I got to heaven. So, the program. Shara's tripping these days with the sprinkle. It went viral though. You know what I mean? That says something. It went viral. I mean, it is what it is. Like Jay-Z said, can't knock the hustle. I don't knock the hustle at all. More power to her, more success. You know what I mean? Sprinkle. She has a big audience now. So, I mean, more power to her, you know. Peace and blessings, Elegant Granny. How are you doing? What else I got for y'all today? Like I said, this is a freestyle chat. If you have any questions today, let me know. Tell me what's on your mind. I think Katrina gave me another oh yeah, this one. Now, it doesn't surprise me that this happened because it's so blatantly open that Madonna had her son do this. I used to get mad about it. I used to get pissed off that they would adopt these young melanated boys and turn them into girls like Charlize Theron. They do everything in the masses' face. It's like I said before, it's like they dare you to do anything about it. But here's a clip on what I'm talking about here. Once again, shout out to Katrina for sharing this with me. This is her. This is an 11-year-old boy. That right there because I don't want to see it anymore. I honestly don't. You know what I'm saying? One more time, they dare you to do anything about it. Pretty much. Oh, I'm doing well, Elegant Granny. Thanks for asking. Very well. The missus is well as well. I need to bring her back on here. I'm always going to make sure we're doing fine financially as well as mentally, magically. You know, I do this full time. I do this for a living. So, first rule of the universe is self-preservation. But you know, people will try you. You know, yeah, big ass Dora pause with that one. The thing is, they go out there and they do this in front of people, and the audience goes wild. You know what I mean? They go wild with that. You know, they cheer it on. That's why they continue to do it. Overwhelming support. You know, so what's little old me gonna do about it? You know what I mean? Please do, because we funny. Will do. Will do. What's your favorite Halloween costume you ever put on? Favorite Halloween costume? It's an interesting question. Favorite Halloween costume? Let me see if I can find one. I'm sure I have one. It might have been this one here. Let me see. It could have been this one. Um, let's see. You can't see it just yet. I actually me and my best friend were on our way to a club that had a Halloween party. So it was on Halloween and it was on a Saturday. So went to Waco, and that could be one of my favorites. I went just like that. So let me see if I can find another one. I dress up pretty much every Halloween. Again, it is the most revered holiday of witches and pagans. That I'm pretty sure that one might have been my favorite. So yeah, that's the only one I have up right now. But now you're gonna make me look. So that was a Baron Samedi costume that I had on. Yeah, I usually like to get Baron Samediized for Halloween. And then they complain about the birthright. How about that? What's up, Kush African? I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on, brother? When the Temple of Solomon is rebuilt in Israel, what rituals do you think they'll be doing? What angels and spirits will they be calling them? Huh. That's a loaded question there. Read now. Birdman hand rub. What's the most shocking spell you completed that gave you unbelievable results, good or bad? What techniques you use for astral projection? Do you take any supplements or not now? Okay. What's going on, Nate the Great? I thought Halloween was All Hallows Eve. It is All Hallows Eve. What's the word? Okay. They're just going to overwhelm me with questions like that, right? All right. The Temple of Solomon is rebuilt in Israel. What rituals? I can't answer that question. You know, these people, they do rituals all the time, but I can't. How can I possibly? I'm not trying to be funny. How can I possibly answer that question? I don't know. I don't know what kind of rituals they want to do. You know, so can you ask something else? I have no idea what they do. Okay, all I know for certain is that they do magic rituals. I know that for certain, but as far as me, what kind do I do not know. Okay, I don't know what the agenda is. The agenda is. It would be a good question, but how could I possibly know that? I'm not even interested in, to be quite honest. But I can answer part of that. The angels, the spirits they'll be calling on is probably the Solomonic angels. The angels. There's so many. Like for voodoo, there's so many Loa. There's so many Orishas. There are thousands of them. So I believe they'll be calling on angels, but what angels? I have no idea. Those are great questions. All right. The most shocking spell you completed that gave me unbelievable results was, okay. I was at this job. This is when I worked for MWR, and we had a tyrant for a supervisor. I even remember her name. I ain't gonna say it here, but she was just an oppressive. She was a melanated woman, unfortunately, but an oppressive kind of person. It's like she lived for this job, right? So I appealed to Baron Samedi to get rid of her because I couldn't take it no more. I said, Baron Samedi. I first asked my mentor, this ain't gonna kill her. He's a god of death. He was like, no, if that's not what you want, then that's not gonna happen. He said, the Baron's not gonna kill anybody just like that. So, okay. So I went to the crossroads at night in a very isolated area. I made sure that nobody was around, and I did a ritual to Baron Samedi at the crossroads because I'll be goddamn if I'm going to the cemetery. I don't like going into the graveyard. That's the one thing I just can't get with. I don't like it there. I get uneasy there. So I went to the crossroads, all right? And I think the results came in like a month. But this is one woman who had been there for years, and she was all about the job, and she was just one of the motherfuckers you want to strangle. But in about a month's time, if not 3 weeks, 3 days before she left unexpectedly. She left unexpectedly and without warning, okay? Without warning. 3 days prior to that, if you watch my channel for some time, you heard me say this story. I had a dream about her on a ship out in the middle of nowhere. It was dark and it was raining, and it was like I was a spectator, and she was just running all around. She was the only one on this big ass ship in the dark, in the rain. Woke up confused as hell. 3 days later, she was gone. She gave the keys. She didn't give an explanation. She just bounced on out of there. I always remember that. I was like, damn, okay, cool. All right, I dreamt about it first, but that's the most unbelievable results I got. It was shocking to me because she was one of those lifers that, you know, she was going to be there for a long, long time. She had been there already for a long, long time. You see what I'm saying? So I hope that answers your question. What's the worst job you had before working for yourself? The worst job I had before working for myself was a call center. Surprise, surprise. A call center who I worked again. Black manager. Nobody in the building liked this one. Nobody. You know, everything was about the agents. I had never been in that kind of environment before. So I wasn't really allowed to be a supervisor at this job. I wasn't allowed to bring incentives to my agents, which is something I was used to doing. You know, the answer I got was, we can't allow that here because there's no food allowed on the floor. And, you know, they They do come to work, they get paid a paycheck, you know, this standard boss response. I'm like, but you know, if you actually motivate your agents, you get more out of you'll get a productive employee. All right. Every Monday we had to take calls. As supervisors, we had to take calls, 2 hours, right? 2 hours. This one particular Monday, I was on my calls. On the calls, you're supposed to stay there. You're not supposed to do anything else. Now, it was only 3 of us with about 30 employees. Okay. So we had a new training class on the floor, and they knew who I was because some of them was going to work for me. Right. So I got off the phone because I saw some of their hands raised. I got off the phone to go help a couple of them. Right. Anytime that you don't, as a supervisor, you don't help the agents, that's a bad look for you. Okay. You'll get called into the manager's office for this. They actually wrote me up for that, you know, and ultimately let me go for doing my job. The worst job I ever had. It was a couple more reasons why that was one of the supervisors was a crybaby, you know, but they allowed her to stay there. Would you want a supervisor who just go off somewhere and cry? Would you want that kind of a supervisor? That was the worst job ever. So yeah. All right, so well, because y'all have been talking your asses off. What techniques you use for astral projection? Do you take any supplements and or recommend any? I don't actively try to do astral projection. It just happens when it does. I don't actively try to. I don't strain to do it. When I'm dreaming and I know I'm lucid dreaming, the moment that I realize that I am dreaming, I will say that to myself. I am on the astral plane. Once I do that, you wake up inside the dream. It's hard to explain, but you wake up and you can do whatever you want. You can fly, you can fuck, you can do anything. I'm dead serious when I say that. So the only thing that I can say that I do, I take a lot of herbs. All right. Kalia Zakatechichi is one. There's a South African herbs called Syneptaleptis kirki. Those herbs like that, lucid dreaming herbs, are the best things you're going to get as far as astral projection. I don't, like I said, that novelty for me has worn off years ago. So I no longer actively try to do that. Hope that answered the question. What's the word? Okay, I got questions on deck. I can keep going. Yeah, I see. Are there any teas to drink you could advise me to aid me on my journey that possess powers to manifest? Tea are good, period. Teas are good, period. But you're going to have to be a little more specific on that particular question. Are you talking about magically manifest something? Which magic system do you feel is most powerful? Planetary magic, Solomonic magic, Enochian magic? At this point in my journey, the thing I would say is when you get to a point where you can make any ritual work, any magical system work, it's not going to be about which one's the most powerful. It's dependent upon the practitioner. Okay? That's my answer for that. I used to think voodoo was the most powerful. Then I used to think Palo Mayombe was the most powerful. Then I thought the clip-off was the most powerful. Then I thought Necronomicon was the most powerful. Then I thought Solomonic magic was the most powerful. I went through my stages because I went through a whole lot of them. But it really depends on your skill level. Okay? So it's not the system. Ultimately, it is up to the practitioner. That's my answer on that one. They say some of the best cities to celebrate Halloween is in Los Angeles and New Orleans. People had the most fun. I heard New Orleans. I think I heard Los Angeles also. What is the easiest ceremonial ritual you've learned aside from the LBRP? And do you feel there's something better? Easiest ceremonial ritual? Easiest ceremonial ritual? It would have to be the ritual of the old ones. To call them is really simple. So the ritual of the old ones, the book of the old ones, that's the easiest, in my opinion. You work for a call center? Good luck, brother. What's up, Tosh? How you doing? Mullion does work, and the sun opener does work also. Yes. Teas to drink to help open the third eye and develop self-created spells using the head. Well, ultimately, teas are not going to do that. Teas, you could try any herb and put it and make it into a tea. But like I said earlier, open the third eye, there's a couple different ones. All right. Kalia Zakatechichi. That's should I spell it? I think I should. That one, and then you got Sinathalepis Kirk. Those two are my favorites. Do you think, I hope I am answering these questions, but keep them coming. But let me take a small break here because there's a part I want y'all to see here. There is part of a ritual lecture I want y'all to see. But keep the questions there. I'll come back to them. I promise. I will.
That because it has a whole lot of metaphysical meaning to it. I got a few things. I got a few things, very important things. We have certain spiritual documents come about. I have this one, which is a spiritual document. It's called A Ritual of the Third Eye. So what we're into now, we're not necessarily into reporting about these mysteries as if we are into the practicing stage or the application stage of these mysteries. So our ancient people left certain things behind that we would retrieve at a later date. And they used the Europeans, especially a lot of this stuff was brought up into Europe by the Moors, to be preserved so that we could get it at a later date. And I talk about this all the time in my lectures. The reason why it was imperative that the Moors go up into Europe for 700 years, not only to educate them, but to bring certain materials from the East and bring them into the West so that we could have this after we wake up out of our slumber. And it was going to be a long time because our slumber, we are just waking up the last 20-something years. Every now and then we will have a resurgence where our eyes will wake up, and we have them in the 30s, we had them in the 60s, we had them in the early 70s, and then as you know, COINTELPRO moved in the 70s and shut certain things down. Then we had a resurgence in the late 80s and the early 90s. And then things moved to shut things down. We're going to tell you, they got a little more advanced about this, and as a matter of fact, I've been talking about this in the lecture, but Brother TJ had sent down a certain document to further the research that it was much more severe on what they did in the early 90s to shut down certain people or make certain people go to sleep. And what I mean by that here is they monitor when we're waking up. You notice in the early 90s, everybody was walking around with a little leather Africa on, even unconscious people. So first it starts with a style, and then you also had your conscious rap at that particular time. So basically they upped the ante on the fluoride, which is what we're going to deal with. The fluoride, which is the #1 devastating thing to the pineal gland, as well as low radio frequency waves, as well as if you notice your TV set, the only way to really stop it, you got to put a heavy blanket over it.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go back to it, but let me expand on what he just said. There's a resurgence. Now, y'all know there's a resurgence right now in the occult community. All right. However, you got so many infiltrators. Okay. You got these fake woke people who say all the same shit. They use a bunch of word salad. You know what I mean? Remember what I told y'all. Learn to discern. Okay? Learn to discern. There's a lot of fake people out here, people. A lot. Okay? That's why people get in and they join these cults and these groups and these Facebook groups, you know, and they ain't really getting anything out of it. Okay? They're getting a feel good out of it. Then you got the conscious community who are just as bad as the white supremacists. You know what I'm saying? And that's folly also. All right. Your skin color doesn't make you good or bad. It doesn't. All right. We should be way past that by now. You see what I'm saying? Y'all still talking to each other. Let's see. Do you think working with Olympic spirits are too much for a beginner? I do, but I'm also a big fan of letting adults be adults. Okay. Now, if you get burned, then it's a good learning experience. All right. However, the Olympics, you got to think about the planets. Okay? Planets are huge. All right, supposedly. Planets are huge. The energy is huge. You see what I'm saying? The energy can be very heavy and very intense for people. Right? I used the Olympic spirits to summon Haggith one time, and I don't think I'll ever do that again because I was super horny all the time, and you know, just it was intense. It was very intense. Imagine if I had summoned these Olympic spirit of Mars. See what I'm saying? So it all depends on what you can handle. I try to say go in stages. All right? Go in stages. Don't rush anything. There's no rush for any of this. Take your time and learn. Okay? Learn to discern. Somebody just asked me what's the easiest. This also is easy. It's called the Halogen. Right? One of my all-time favorite authors, Basil Crouch, the London practitioner. Okay, he left a lot of deep shit behind, and his methods are simple. They're very, very simple. I just happen to print it out. It's a Halogen. It's a different way of working with, let's say, a statue, a simple statue. He says the uglier the better. Let me show you something that's in here. Because if you remember, Bobby said something ugly to us could be the uglier it was, the more powerful it was, the uglier it was, the more unseemingly attractive it was. the modern day forms of genie, like that. Okay, like that. All right. That's where my name comes from. Okay, not just Baron Samedi, but Basil Crouch also. That was their other alternate names. He went by Basil La Croix also, and one of Baron Samedi's names is Baron La Croix. So it comes from both them people. That's where you get Magick La Croix, right? That's part of the reason. It also means crossroads. All right, so we just have to practice, practice, practice. Absolutely. Peace and prosperity, Sister Righteous. You got that. It's bitter. It's extremely bitter, but it's very effective. Okay? It's super bitter. Yes, it is. You're gonna need to play it back? Absolutely. What practices do you recommend for people that may be remote viewing you and you don't want them to? Interesting question there. What practices do you recommend for people that may be remote viewing you? I recommend cloaking yourself. That's what I recommend. Okay? Cloaking yourself. They are very, there's a lot of methods for cloaking yourself. Hide your astral body. Okay. Again, there's Kabbalistic ways to do it. There's ways with voodoo. There's so many systems out there. And this is the reason why I think people who say they master something in a month or so is a complete joke. You know, or a motherfucker who took a year or two learning one system, then saying he's selling all of his ritual items because he learned everything he needed. He can do everything with his mind. Dora fucking Paul. Whatever. All right. Magick La Croix. Which magic did Jesus use back in the days? It's a book called Mary Magdalene and the Left Hand Path. Why me? Why? Yes, exactly, Tosh, like a gargoyle. Exactly. That's exactly right. What he said about the TV is one of the reasons I don't own one. I remember you saying that, Elegant Granny. I do remember you saying that. Aside the fact that I'm just really not into it anyway. I hear that. I totally get that. How do you discern if a real spiritual school is looking for you in opposed to a cult? You got to use your intuition, man. Spirit speaks through you. You answered your own question. Peace, racial justice. So an ugly statue, yeah. Tosh, remind me after this, and I'll hook you up with the book. Greetings, amazingly. What's going on? How you cloak your house? How you cloak your house? Does the middle pillar help for cloaking your body on? You got to do a lot more research, Brother Moore, if you're asking that particular question. Look into New Avatar Power. How would you know if someone's remote viewing you? There are ways. Hell, I would think using a spy, a psychic spy, could actually tell you that also. My question is regarding contracts from working with demons. If you perform a ritual that does not disclose what the cost is for the demon to perform the task for you, how can you pay afterwards? That question is best answered by the demon you're working with. I can't answer that question either. I can't answer that question. You got to know the demon that you're working with, making a contract, and be very careful with it. You have to be very specific. It's just like we're working with Papa Legba. You got to be very, very, very specific. Very specific. Okay. Make sure the terms of the contract is laid out completely so there's no misunderstanding. Because if you leave an opening, demons will take advantage of that. Hey, what's going on, Jamie Haynes? I think Cher still talks about cult things on her private groups because I hear her subs talk about things they learned from her, and she's cool with some of the most popular Wiccans on YouTube. I think she has a separate channel. Like she has a like a fashion line, I think, or a makeup channel or something like that. I don't know, something like fashion or makeup or something like that. Something to deal with attractiveness or glamour. Don't know. And then she has a different channel for like she speaks on the cult thing. So I think you're right. But let me go back to this particular Blackamoor.
So let's say if you cut your TV set off at night, that's not enough because it means if it's still plugged into the wall, it's on standby. So you get a breaker and you cut off the breaker, you know, where you put all those plugs in and you mash the breaker. It don't matter if you cut the TV, you can unplug it from the wall, cut it off out of breaker. It still doesn't matter because it has a battery on the inside that's still on. Just like your cell phone. Your cell phone is unplugged from the wall as you travel around, but it's the battery on the inside that keeps the cell phone going. So these TVs have a battery on the inside to keep going even when you unplug them from the wall. So that's why you need to get you some type of black velvet and drape black or dark blue velvet and drape over the actual TV. Not only does it emits all types of low radio frequency waves, but it also is a camera on the inside. So everybody is monitored. You see what I'm saying? But we can talk all day on those particular things, but we're also into the application. And here's a document that I'm going to be giving today. It's a 2-page document. I'm selling for $5. I go and I do the research, go in and dig detail and get to certain things. So there's certain things that came out of Moorish Spain, since we're talking about the Moors also, that they will hold on to for years. The Europeans, and this is coming from the Wiccan cult, which you must familiarize yourself with. And I'll tell you why. The whole witchcraft thing, because that's nothing but the priestess of Isis, or Aset. You see what I'm saying? And so white folks are at least maybe 100 years ahead of us in our own sciences. All because you all spooked out and everything that is yours somehow became evil. You know what I'm saying? Somehow became evil. This is a third eye ritual. It's a ritual on how to evoke psychic power and clairvoyance in the whole 9 yards. But this is one that works. So what it is I'll go in and I'll do the research and retrieve certain things. Well, I had to find this in the Wiccan, the Wiccan information, which the Wiccan information had 2 aspects of receiving their particular information. The first rise of the Wiccans was the ancient Egyptians who traveled up in that land and built Stonehenge, or the Kamites, and set up the Celtic Druids. Now this was curious to me because I found a book called The Book of Isis and Osiris by the Celtic Druids back in the 1990s. And I'm, you see, what is this? And then it was interesting. So that's the first aspect as far as this Wiccan thing. The second aspect is that they benefited from the secret societies who actually preserved all of those particular magical texts on the Moors that was there for 700 years. You see what I'm saying? So they are into preserving all of the ancient primordial texts. So this is one that filtered down, probably came out of Kemet, went into Europe by the Moors, and this is a third eye ritual. That's 2 pages, because the second page is how to raise the Kundalini, 10 ways how to raise the Kundalini energy. We'll be dealing with all that today, but I wanted to put that out there also. Let me see if I got this picture. We had a great master to pass in March. Some of you know him as Brother C. Freemanel. Anybody heard of Brother C. Freemanel?
All right.
Great master to pass. See if I got his picture. To pass. This is one that Brother Azazel. This is a picture of him. It's just it's the best we had at the time. But Brother C. Freemanel made the transition, so we paying homage to him, And so what we do is we invoke. But this is ironic. I'm kind of glad to do this. I was glad to make this opportunity because I saw the brothers, the Crips and the Bloods and the gangs out in L.A. on the videos when they would pour one for the brothers ain't here. They would take a 40 ounce and pull for the brothers ain't here. So, you know.
Did y'all get all that? Or were y'all talking? Y'all were talking. I think Shira still talks about cult things on her private groups because I hear, oh, I read that already. Do you feel any spirit you work with is a contract being built automatically? No, they don't work that way. They don't just automatically. It's an energy exchange. Hey, I'll give you this if you do this for me. A pact is something different. It's like a written contract, you know. So if you offer something, make sure you can honor that. Otherwise, your life could turn to shit. All right. Yeah, she does have another channel. I thought so. Okay. She has a paid Facebook group, last I recall. Mine was a paid Facebook group back by maybe 5 years ago, called the Magical Elite. I put so many bomb ass PDFs, rare books, and we was doing this is the group I was telling y'all about that I shut down. You know, people wasn't taking advantage. I'm like, how are you paying a monthly fee and you're not doing anything with it? So once that happened, I was like, I can't do this. I can't sit here and work with people who just half-assing it. We had the same 5 people always raising a hand or whatever. I believe Tosh was in this group. You know what I'm saying? But it was that's when I realized that a lot of people, they're fascinated with the occult. They're fascinated with magic, but they don't want to do it themselves. They don't want to learn it themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not at all. But I feel like if you're in a paid group, why not take advantage of it? You know what I mean? Take advantage of it. I was giving out rare magical secrets and all kind of shit in there. I'm not a fan of Shira. She's okay, but I really like Black Witch Yaya, and Shira's cool with her. Hey, go with who you resonate with. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of people out here who don't resonate with me. That's perfectly fine. Perfectly, absolutely fine. Follow or get mentored by people you resonate with. What your spirit tells you to, what your intuition tells you. Yeah. If you got a bad feeling about somebody, don't fuck with them. Do you believe in the energy body? And if so, what do you feel is the best practice you suggest or book you recommend? Do I believe? Yeah, we have 7 subtle bodies. There's actually more than that, but 7. Physical, etheric, astral, the mental, spiritual. There's 2 more I'm missing. Okay. What the best practice I suggest? You're gonna have to be a little more specific with that question. I would have been in that group doing the Millie Rock with all that knowledge. Hey, man. I mean, I could have just kept it going and drained those people. I'm not the kind of person that's going to do that, though. I mean, I could have just bullshitted in that group if I wanted to. You know, I'm just not built that way. I'm just not built to take advantage of people like that. So I just shut it down and say, fuck it. I remember the elders in, good Lord, where am I? I remember the elders in our community and used to have us wear black velvet when we were growing up, especially if you were 6th to 8th grade. That's what's up. I think Shira focuses on love working. Last I knew of, Shira was doing like, there's a couple of, I'm not saying all women practitioners do this, but there's a couple women out here who give out sugar daddy spells and stuff like that. There's an audience for that. There's a market for that. Like I said, I don't knock any hustle, especially not in today's economy. You like it, I love it. You know what I mean? But I don't know if Shira does it, but there's a couple other people that I know do that. One is, I think, Creole Queen. I'm not totally sure, but there's a couple people who do stuff like that. The love workings, lust working, sugar daddy spells, come to me spells, stuff like that. Black Witch Yaya, fellow Gemini. I've not heard of her. I have no idea who that is. Let me see if I can find it. Black Witch. Her name is Black Witch Yaya. Dark skin sister. Huh. A lot of subscribers. Yeah. Hey, if that's who you resonate with, that's who you resonate with. Yeah, I thought so, Tosh. You was part of the group. That's how you got hooked up with the new Ishtar power system. Tosh is a good example of someone using the information. She was one of those people I was talking about. The same 5 people, she was one of those people that was constantly asking questions, taking advantage of the group. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were just sitting there just to take information, and that was it. I just can't have that. I just got my Virgo nature just will not allow that. So I would rather teach individually now. You know, people come and take my classes, and that shows me actually who's serious. What's going on, brother Ronan? Looking and learning. Do you work with angels? Who has been the most responsive and effective for you? I don't work with angels, not recently. But yeah, I have. Again, loaded questions, because it's not. I get it's kind of unfair to ask me these questions, these kinds of questions. Who's been the most? Because I've gotten responses from everybody. But see, I've been doing this over 20 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have different experiences from someone who's done it just 5 years. Now, I shouldn't say unfair. It's just, it's not. I've been getting steady results for all this time. You know, of course I have failed. Of course I have. But my successes far outweigh my failures. You know what I mean? But angels, I can't think of one. Angel. I'm sorry, I can't pinpoint a specific angel. I think maybe Ozer, Azaria, Hazan, those protection angels. But if I'm being really honest here, and I'm always am going to be, I work mostly with demons. I work with dark side a lot, more so than angels. Okay? I work with angels when I don't want intense energy, and I don't need a drastic result. That's when I work with angels, light energy. You appreciate me doing this? Oh, my pleasure. Magical Lady Duchess do too. I don't keep in touch with her anymore. We didn't fall out or anything. It wasn't tight like that. But I don't follow her like that. You know what I mean? Magical Lady Duchess does the love workings. That's what y'all saying. Okay, I got you. She's very creative. Your wife put you on to her. This is Black Witch Yaya. Y'all talking about this woman right here? Or am I behind? And then I'm just, that's Black Witch. Black Witch Yaya. She has a whole presentation, huh? Yeah. I honestly, this is the first time I heard of her. Yep, dark skin, pretty. Yep, she is. She is. She's with Tommy Sotomayor, good twin of Baron. Really? She's known to be the best storyteller in the game. Okay, all right, that's what's up. Do Virgos admit they're wrong? You had to ask. Yeah, we do admit we're wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna say I'm wrong. It's gonna hurt like hell to admit that, because we pride ourselves in knowing and being informed. How do my classes go? Classes like Magic 101 is basic magic, basics like candle magic and herbs, stuff like that. 201 is like the magical tools like mantras and sigils and honey jars, stuff like that. 301, Magic 301 is where you get into the nitty gritty, where you get into Kabbalistic magic and ATRs, which is African traditional religions, you know. And then 401 gets even more intense than that. You got demonic magic in that one. But I laid out a foundation where you go from the bottom to the top. You see what I'm saying? Different level of experience. That's exactly right. Least favorite zodiac sign and most favorite besides Virgo. What's going on, brother Damon? Sugar daddy love work. Okay, yeah, that's what I like. I said, there's a market for that. So, if it works, it works. You know what I mean? She doesn't teach classes or anything like that. She just has a large audience. She must have been doing this for a while. She got 122,000 subscribers. About Black Witch Yaya. Sharing my experience and knowledge in this big spiritual world to beautiful spiritual beings via storytelling. That's what's up. I might check her out. I just might check her out. Before I get back to the questions, there's another clip I want y'all to see. And this hails from this sister.
Which is us starting to come up. It's going to start spinning the way it's supposed to spin. Right. To me, it's spinning the wrong way now. Yes.
If you can get it, you ain't too grown. The cartoon is called The Ant Bully.
The Ant Bully. That's deep.
It's called The Ant Bully. The little white boy.
The Ant Bully cartoon.
The Destroyer. Lucas, the Destroyer. And George
Lucas, Lucifer. No light.
He's in Zubo now. For what? Okay, but anyway. His name is Lucas the Destroyer. When you watch this kitty cartoon, they're going to go inside the tunnels with the ants. The ants represent you. They got on the walls in the ant town. The hieroglyphs of your beginning and your ending with this destroyer coming in to exterminate you. To exterminate you. The movie's called The Ant Bully.
All right. In 1957, after World War II, Pope John the 23rd said that cinema, sound broadcasting, and television are a far easier method of spreading and advancing the Roman Catholic cause than the printed word is. In 1964, Pope Paul VI said that it is the church's birthright to use and own the press, cinema, radio, television, etc. That's why certain movies that they don't want out don't get out. And like they said, men in black come in with their craziness. And way back in the day, when Moors or our people used to try to come up on Europeans to try to help get them together, these ugly, dirty, nasty men in black, which were the popes and the bishops, would show up to get the people. No, you don't bathe them. You don't bathe them. They were men in black then, they're men in black now. They keep telling you about the men in black that we just didn't put it together. Yes.
Now you had gave a definition for the word black the last time you was here, right? Black,
Yes.
many colors, changing many colors. Okay. As in 1933, we used this new logo dictionary. We jumped from Bouvier's, was dealing with the Franks, and Franks were Moors. So now we have what's it called?
Blacks.
Black.
And so who we talking about?
Pales, the pinks,
They have
the men in black. They're really right, the men that are black. The original black man is what y'all keep calling the white man.
Right.
You're not black. And everybody who was here last year knows that you are not black. Who in here still thinks they're black? Black, if you know the definition, can it even possibly apply?
No.
No way. It's not possible. Not by definition. You can't be black. Just like by definition, you cannot be Christian. Look up the word Cretan in the dictionary. Now, C-R-E-T-I-N. Now, when you look up Christian, you will not see Cretan. But when you look up Cretan, you will see Christian. And a good definition, a good dictionary, when you get into brackets, will say a Cretan is a stupid idiot, a stupid, obtuse person.
Sounds about right.
Huh?
Sounds about right.
But it'll say in the brackets, it'll say from Christian, it's Christian. The original, oh, you see it? The origin of the word means Christian, and the word Christian means stupid idiot. Now you
Bam. Yafa Bay, Dr. Yafa Bay. That's her name, Elegant Granny. These clips are aligning. Wait a minute. Where are them? Any spells to remove distortion or to reveal the truth? Are you asking for spells? There's spells out there, yeah, absolutely. To remove distortion or to reveal the truth? Yes, there are spells they're Kabbalistic spells. I think there are voodoo spells that actually do it, even Santeria spells. Every magical system has some kind of spell like that. She tells stories and talks about occult things. I'm thinking we're still talking about Black Witch Yaya. She got a big audience for 173 videos. Okay. That's what's up. Huh. I'm going to check out one of her clips. Church is birthright or church is in birth? Yes, that I suggest? Actually, I can't off the top of my head. No, you're going to have to do your research on that one. I'd say look into like the new Avatar Power or the Book of the Old Ones for spells like that, for simple spell. I don't know. That's why I can't answer questions like that, because I don't know what your status is as a practitioner. You know what I mean? I can give you a spell, and if you don't know anything else, it's not going to do you any good because ain't nothing going to happen. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know if you just now starting or you 5 years in. I have no idea. So, like I said, you know, but for a beginner, New Avatar Power or the Book of the Old Ones, those are very, very easy spells. Okay. And don't forget to journal everything you do. All right. I want to thank y'all for being here today. As always, I enjoy having y'all. I enjoy speaking with you and interacting with you. We will be back on Thursday of this week. I hope you enjoy the rest of this week. This is the last week of Halloween. By the way, that's one way to get in alignment with the occult is watch horror stories, horror movies. You know what I'm saying? All movies have some truth in them. Okay. Some of them have a truth sandwich. That's truth in the middle of two lies. You see what I'm saying? Charmed is really good for magical secrets. Okay. Just understand that they highly Hollywoodize everything. They exaggerate everything. But for magical secrets, Charmed. I know that doesn't sound appealing to people. It is what it is. You should get knowledge from everywhere. Okay. I am the one and only mystical, magical, undeniable, the inexplicable Magick La Croix. I will see y'all next time. Have a good rest of your day and rest of your week. I will see y'all on Thursday. Always a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody who showed up. Tosh, Tsunami, Righteous, Elegant, Granny, Righteous, Jamie Haynes, Katrina, Brother Moore, Nay the Great. Who else showed up? Rayshawn Justice. Amazingly. I think that's pretty much everybody who showed up. Part 2 Thursday for mundane non-occult questions. Good suggestion. Non-occult questions, huh? Okay, but be aware of the answers that come out of my mouth. So anyway, I'm the one and only Magick La Croix. I will see y'all next time. As always, I greet you in peace and namaste.